Alright, it's another day here on the server, and I just logged on, and apparently the potato placer has struck again. I've been here with the bees and the redstone sounds up here at the bee farm, so I went to look in to see how much, and you can see we have tons of honeycomb being collected, and I'm going to have to empty that out and start making some blocks. But what do we have here in the middle? It's called the Tater Tot of Wisdom. This wasn't here the last time I checked in. Just much like the Potato of Truth, it seems like the potato placer has struck again, like I said, and we don't really know what it means. I have no idea how the Tater Tot of Wisdom falls into what it means to have the Potato of Truth. Is there a trifecta of potatoes that will grant me mysterious powers? I'm not really sure. I don't know who's doing this, and that's okay, because sometimes there are mysteries on a multiplayer server that you have to kind of figure out as you play along. So we'll see how things go, but like I said, I just got in, I've been doing some work around the base, checked out the old bee farm, and that's what I found. Alright, I'm over here at the outpost by the Dark Castle build location, and we're going to quick check out what's going on over at the Trial Chamber excavation site, because before we really get into the meat of today's episode, which is going to be for the most part building and expanding the starter area to really put some more detail, some new additions, and some actual building over there, I have to kind of reveal that we have lost actually a decent amount of footage. I've been kind of coming over here on and off and starting the excavation process. During the last episode, we started that process, started to dig a hole over yonder, and what happened was I really got carried away. I wanted to make this hole kind of pretty evident to anybody who might be passing by and kind of get the process started, because it really is quite a large task, and I'm afraid I may have definitely bit off a little more than I can chew. As we head over here and look out over the edge, we can see that the hole is pretty much twice as wide as the last time I was here to see it. And some of the activities that we did over here, I wasn't able to capture. I have lost some footage during this time, but at the same time, there's plenty still to do, and really, we still have to focus on the mission of getting the starter area completely built before we come back over here and really worry about the Dark Castle. But as I really approach the edge, you can tell by the number of chests that there's a high volume of... Look at this. There's got to be tons and tons of resources, building blocks. I like to collect and hoard as many materials as I can as I collect them. So as we were digging this thing out, I put most of the stuff over here. Of course, we got plenty of stone. We got like 3 chests deep here and 3 wide, and even going on a 10th one up there. We got all the different types of building blocks, the colorful blocks, diorite, granite, andesite, and just kind of course, all the sandstone. And this is just the beginning. So as we can see down there, we have some exposed trial chamber. There's a little entrance right there to get in. But this thing is absolutely huge, and definitely a lot more than I thought it was going to be. And there's still plenty more to go. But before we go back to the starter island and get into today's building, I wanted to kind of show off what was going on over here. For one, explain why it's so deep compared to the last time we saw it, and do a fun little kind of a montage of some TNT explosions that were used. You know, after a while, kind of getting the old pickaxe out here just kind of taking forever and forever just to get down as deep as it is to the very bottom down there. But we found our way to use TNT and start to blow some things up, and that's always a lot of fun. So let's check out some of that footage now, and then we will meet you back over on the starter area so that we can get to building. All right, like I said, we're back here at the starter area at the mission board, and still on mission 4. We got a yellow status alert there because it's time to continue this thing until it's done. So we're going to be spending quite a bit of time over here. We've already started to, of course, store some materials down in a temporary storage area, and one of the things we want to check in on right away is really to give a sense of how long we've been gone. So here's the cactus farm down here. I think last time I checked in on it, was maybe an episode or two ago, and we had just got it started. Look at how much cactus is in there now. I think there was barely a stack the last time we looked at it, and partly because, you know, it has been a while. I've been over here on and off, but at the same time, we have neighbors, and it's very close to spawn, so that kind of indicates how long this area is loaded. We're almost out of cactus. I may have to change this barrel into a double chest to be able to collect it all, because we're barely getting into this season, and we're almost completely full. But that's pretty much all in terms of our new additions. One of the things we got are dancing sheep. I don't know, like, when I put that sheep up there, it was kind of tucked into the corner, and I have since just at least, to help measure out, put these 3x3 pieces of grass so that we can get an idea where we're going to put the sheep farm. And he just decided to just hop up there and continually spin around. But I think the first order of business is to help get this guy into place, and we will go ahead and build the standard wool farm right here. We'll have to clear out a little bit of the area and kind of understand how the tracks might have to be changed to continue to help that redstone go on my little minecart ride over there. But I think the first order of business is going to have to get this guy a name tag, and let's get him the multicolor little Easter egg that's in the programming. Like we say, it's the JEB underscore, and we'll show you what that effect is in just a second once we get ourselves a name tag. Alright, over here at the blacksmith shop, and of course my favorite anvil to use is right here on the end, the one that we had to replace because we used it so much. It already looks like it's cracked. It would be kind of funny if it breaks after this one. Let's see what happens. We got ourselves a name tag, and all we got to do is just stick it into the anvil. We'll name it JEB underscore, and pick it out. Alright, well, the anvil survived. Now let's go back and stick this name tag on the sheep, and we'll show you what it looks like. Alright, it's over here still doing its dance, and now it's time for a live action Easter egg. We're just going to head and right click, and there it goes. So there's Jeb the sheep, and as you can tell, if you can really tell because of the, you haven't gotten too dizzy by looking at it, it is in rainbow colors, continuing to change color in the wool. It always yields a white wool. Of course, this is more just a visual thing, but there it is live. I think last season, if I remember, or it was during World Tours, I had one. Where there was a sheep that was already named Jeb, but we've now seen it live, and we'll get this sheep in position over here once we start building up the little automatic shearing sheep farm. Alright, I've taken a little bit of a break and done some adventuring, and I'm kind of out here using my brush trying to find some sniffer eggs among some of the other treasures, and there's plenty of warm ocean around here. We're just going to hop down in just a minute and try that out, and we're really looking for a sniffer egg, and I believe that we found one, so I just want to go ahead and capture this moment, and here we go. So yes, of course, that is a sniffer egg. You can tell by the colors, and as soon as we grab hold of it, there it is. Smells interesting. Obtain a sniffer egg. Oh, no, wait, I'm under attack. I cannot... This drown doesn't want me to have the egg, but I got bad news for him. The Mark 6 Smiter had other ideas. So, yeah, now we're really excited. We have one sniffer egg. Let's see if we can find another around here, and that way we'll have two and be able to breed up some of the sniffers once they grow up. Let's see. We got a pottery sherd this time. We'll keep looking around here and see if we can find a second one. If not, we'll have to move around and check some of the other locations. This one's just a piece of coal. We'll keep looking and we'll capture it if we find it. Alright, as I've been continuing, we got a second sniffer egg. We have now gotten everything we need to breed up the sniffers and create a little sanctuary. Boy, that's exciting. We'll have to save that for a future time, but like I said, just took a little break doing some adventuring out here, and it was worth it. Alright, I'm back over here with Jeb, and it turns out, so one of the first things we're going to do is to adjust this grass platform. It turns out we really only need just like a T shape, 3 blocks across and 1 block forward. And what we're going to do is, if I turn around and make some adjustments here, we're going to take out the front row of these grass blocks, And in addition, the ones on either side, whoop, took out one too many there. Let's put this one back. So this shape, this kind of 3 in the back, 1 in the front is really what we need. The sheep is going to sit, Jeb here is going to be standing right there, right on that block, and being able to eat the grass there. The 3 surrounding grasses will be able to influence the dirt and grow it as basically as soon as is possible in the game mechanics. And behind where this block is where the redstone action is going to happen with the dispenser. That'll be shearing the sheep. And then underneath we'll put a little collection system with a hopper mine cart and a additional hopper that goes into a chest. So very basic setup. The only thing we won't have, which we'll get to at the end, is that I'm not going to be able to rig a kind of fun little minecart detector rail or activator rail. We really do need quartz to make this happen. We need redstone components to be able to get observer. Observer is the only thing we really need that's going to make this work, unless I can think of another way. But to begin with, as you can see, the minecart is going kind of really close to this. I guess I had 2 options. What I could really do is I can move this little space somewhere else. I can move it maybe a little farther left, but I really do want to keep the theme here of with the bee farm right there. There'll be a pillar, and then I want the sheep farm right next to it. And I'm going to offset it back, so that's why I left this block in place and took out the front 3. So what that really means is we're going to have to stop the minecart for now, because right there, as it put that little raised up part, it needs to go up a little bit further to be able to fit all this underneath. So we'll head on over there and stop that thing. So if I just stand here, it should kind of come in. There we go. Put it to a stop, and it'll sit here on the detector rail, or on the powered rail anyway, because it's now unpowered, and it'll just sit there for a little bit while we can make some adjustments up there. All right, now that we've got it stopped, let's just go ahead and take out a little bit of this in front. We'll take out some of the terracotta. Here come the rails now, so we've definitely broken the track. We'll take out the terracotta behind it, and really just these 2 blocks worth here. So if I take out the 2 blocks that we absolutely need, I know we're going to need a little more back there. We'll deal with it when we need to, but let's at least put this dispenser in place so we can use it for orientation purposes, just like that. And this is where all the shears are going to go. We'll preload it with shears because we may be able to do a little manual shearing of our Jeb sheep over there. Let's see. So that's basically the space. What the issue is now is if I look above and looking down on it from above, we can tell that because this needs to be 2 blocks high, which is where this terracotta is. And even just so this is the 1 block that I took out, even if I were to move it over just 1 more block, we'll say, so it was right about here and then started going downward, it would then, the minecart, assuming this would work, and it may, that would work maybe because it's offset by 1, the minecart would then clip into this part of the bee farm frame, and we don't want that either. It actually won't work. I believe it'll get stuck. We could probably test it just to be sure, but if that's not the case, we may have to rearrange the track in the end. But for now, I think what we're going to do is we're just going to hop back down, build up the glass around, we'll put some things in the front and get it so that we can then move Jeb into position and get him ready for shearing. Alright, as I stand back and look at my creation here, I can see we still have a little bit of work to do to kind of close off everything, but we did get everything in place to be able to collect things underneath. Now all we got to do is get old Jeb here into that hole from above, and to do that we're going to have to this is the fun part. So we're going to do this. We take him. There he goes. So he's done spinning. I'm sure you have a dizzy like crazy, Jeb. But here comes the fun part. We're going to try to get you up here without falling down and without taking any damage. And then get you into that little hole and put you into your new forever home where you're going to supply us with plenty of wool. And you're going to be super happy. Just trust me. So let's get you up on the edge. And I don't think you're going to walk across these tracks, so we will take them out and we'll get you to kind of walk on over here. There's the hole. Now all I gotta do is get you to fall down in that hole. If I can nudge you in there or push you in there, let's see, got you right there. And the survey says in the hole you go. Perfect. And all I have to do is then take off the lead. Perfect. And the lead should have got sucked into the chest underneath. There it is. All right, so mission accomplished, and we have Jeb now in the forever home. And as you can see, there's an air block on each. I don't think it's necessary because I think the grass will grow. with a transparent block like glass. So if I were to put a piece of glass right there, I think this will still grow. But we don't want Jeb. We need Jeb. We're gonna close that top up, so we're gonna make sure that Jeb can breathe while they're supplying us all this wool. But that's pretty much it. The rest of it is we have some shears in the dispenser behind. It's just getting the triggering mechanism into place, which, like I said, we're going to need an observer for, and that's going to be a little bit until we can get access to quartz. So for the meantime, we're probably just going to clean up the front of this. We'll put a little covering on it to integrate it into the hillside here, and then decide how to make the collection system kind of maybe go underneath the wheat farm so we can access it from the front. But for the time being, we'll just temporarily keep it right here. So there it is, just a quick basic sheep farm, wool farm anyway, to at least with one sheep. You can do this, you can just line them up next, we can have multiple sheep if you want to collect a lot more. But again, because this area is already loaded very often because it's so close to spawn and we have neighbors. So to be honest, Jeb was put here more as a tutorial, and the fact that we wanted to have our rainbow sheep in here getting sheared every so often, as we do with every starter area, is to have a little bit of a basic farm, a little bit of the basic collection methods in little pockets, peaks and pockets, and all nooks and crannies all around your base, and then you kind of build the base up around it, which is exactly what we're going to do next. We're going to continue to build up around, find where we want to put the next little thing, and probably even address behind me over here, creating this outer structure. We've already started to make a platform, and I kind of envision that being enclosed and kind of going over the top of this area here to be able to start to put a building in where people can walk around and there can be other things on the inside of the building. So we'll catch our breath, get organized, and see what to attack next. So what we did wind up doing to kind of pick up where we left off is to finish off the enclosure here for Jeb and integrate it into the theme of the build with the logs, the strip logs here on either side, and then a different color of terracotta to kind of go with the glazed terracotta that we put in there when we first moved Jeb into his forever hole to produce us with wool once we get the redstone in place. And that means, like I said, we can turn our attention to the next thing here on this starter area, and what I've decided is going to be for the next episode is to really get to work down here in this area. Right now we just have temporary storage, a lot of chests for items as we've been collecting them. But that's all going to change next time. We've already got a little outline of what will be the entrance to at least the front entrance to this area here on this copper graded platform. Lots of building coming up in the next episode as we really get caught up with things, back to normal, back in the swing of things, and get this starter area built up. But until next time, I want to thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next episode.